Hey Giants, it's going to be another great day in math today. I am so glad you are here. Let's go ahead and take our journal page, title it Connect Fractions to Division, put the date, glue in our working problem so we can unlock this whole process, and fold our page so we can take notes on the right, put our example work on the left. I will pause the video until you're all caught up. Alrighty, here we go. Let's take our first note. Our first note is pretty obvious. We need to read the problem. Sometimes we need to read our problem more than once. Sometimes we need to mark our problem, and we will be doing that today when we read it. Our second step is to determine the dividends. Determine the dividends. All right, and the dividend, as a reminder, the dividend is the number that is being, or the thing that is being divided up into equal shares. Okay, it's that number that goes in the dividing house in long division, and in fractions, the dividend is actually the numerator, right? Okay, so determine the dividend. Number 3, write the problem. Pretty straightforward. We'll get our problem written down, write the problem. And number 4, write the problem as a fraction, okay? Or let's put rewrite. Rewrite the problem as a fraction. There you go. And number 5, simplify if necessary. Sometimes we will just get an answer that is a fraction, like 2/3 or 7/10, and we are done. That is our answer. Sometimes we'll get an improper fraction, and so we will need to simplify, okay? Or sometimes maybe our fraction can be simplified by dividing by that fractional one to put it in simplest form. All right, so I'm going to pause the video and make sure everyone has all of these notes written down. Alrighty, one more thing before we get started. While we are working with fractions and divisions, I want you to remember one thing. So this is a remember. All right? This sign means what? Yeah, it's my division sign. And it means, I'm going to put a quote, divided by. When I say, see this symbol, I say the words what? Divided by. Okay? I want you to notice that this bar looks an awful lot like this bar right here, this fraction line. And I want you to notice that this dot here is 2 is taking the place of that dot, and 3 is taking the place of that dot. I want you to think of this as this divided, okay? Because when I see that fraction bar today, what do I want you to say? That fraction bar means what? Same thing. Same 2 words. I want you to write that down. Divided by. Yay, I'm so glad you're here, because you know what? Not every 5th grader knows that. So now you do. Alrighty? Let's go back to step 1 and read the problem. There are 3 students in a crafts class and 2 sheets of construction paper for them to share equally. What part of the construction paper will each student get? Alright, so we have 3 students and we have 2 sheets of construction paper. Talk to me. Do we divide up people into parts? No, we do not divide up people into parts. But what we are dividing, we have to share this equally. And share equally means we have to divide. So the paper gets shared equally. The paper is divided. So I am going to write 2 divided by 3. The 2 is divided. 2 divided by 3. 2 sheets of paper divided by the 3 people. Okay? We are making 3 equal shares. So 3 equal shares. That reminds me of my denominator because my denominator tells me how many pieces make one whole. Okay? So when I want you to remember, what do I say when I see this sign? Divided by. And what do I say when I see the fraction bar? Divided by. So it's just as easy as this. 2 divided by 3 equals 2 divided by 3. Okay? Let's draw a quick picture to show you what that looks like. So I have 2 pieces of paper, and to make it easy on us, go ahead and use the 3 spaces. I have the 2 pieces of paper, and I'm going to divide them into thirds. Okay, I'm going to divide them into thirds. Remember, our denominator tells us how many pieces it takes to make one whole. So, 3 students. You ready? Student 1, student 1, student 2, student 2, and student 3 gets these last 2. Alright, so this is your 2/3. Everyone gets 2/3. Okay? So each student gets 2/3 of a sheet of construction paper. Let's write that down. Each, move that up for you. Each student gets 2/3 of a sheet of construction paper. All right, that was pretty easy. But what happens if we have an improper fraction? Let's give you a quick example for that, okay? So, let's just draw my little picture over here. I'm going to draw 4 happy kids. So go ahead and draw 4 happy kids, 4 friends, and they're going to share, let's see, what can we call these? Let's call them, there's 6 of them, 4 friends share 6, let's call them burritos. Okay? That's good. So, what am I dividing up? What do I have to give an equal share? They're sharing the burritos, so I have to give equal share of the burritos to the 4 people. Alright, so that is what? 6 burritos divided by 4, or 6 burritos divided equally for 4 people. So remember, this is the dividend, this is the 6 burritos, this is what's getting divided up, divided by 4, and that equals 6/4. Hey, improper fraction. We know how to simplify that, don't we? So 6 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4. 6 minus 4. Yep, there we go. And that equals 1 2/4. Still not in simplest form though, giants, is it? How can I simplify 2/4? Divide by the greatest common factor. Okay. So we're kind of working with this. And that equals 1 and, go back to my fraction, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1 1/2. So the friends each get 1 1/2 burrito. All right, giants. I am so glad you're here today. It's going to be a great day in math.